Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, I just want to say I did finish the week with 20 wins, 5 losses for a win rate of 80%. So I did meet my weekly goal of 80%, so I'm happy about that. I did trade quite a bit for a short week, but it is what it is. With that said, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in the bio section of social media. Please like the video. These take a long time to make, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, you can go on Twitter and you can find the timestamps and the calls on my Twitter page. So I post them so you can see the timestamps that they're done in real time and not after the fact or whatever. So I also post trade ideas in the room. So the ideas are up before the play 90% of the time. Sometimes I just can't do it, but 90% of the times I like to try to put the play in the trade ideas room so people can get ready for the play, pull the chart up, pull the options chain up, make their own decision if they're going to take it or not. That's your choice, not mine. It's like I said, it's educational purposes only, and I am not a financial advisor whatsoever. So these are my trades of what I'm doing, and you can just follow along. So with that said, on Tuesday, Monday was holiday, Monday was Labor Day. So the first thing I did grab on, which I ended up swinging overnight, and well, I'm kind of glad I did, was Visa. I took Visa 230 calls at 9:40, which was right here on the breakout. Now I'm looking at it from the hourly. This is Monday right here, right? Yep, the hourly on the left. You get a cup and you get a little handle right here. So I was looking at that, a break over Friday's highs, and it did. So I grabbed it right there and it dropped and it just chopped, and then it dropped more, but it did end up popping the next day. So I did sell it the next day. So I ended up grabbing the 230 calls at 90 cents, and I ended up selling them on Tuesday. I held them overnight. And they went to $1.55 on the next day's pop. So it just kept getting to the 230, 228 level, rejecting. I thought for sure it was going to break right here after the third time, and it didn't. It just pulled back. So I decided to hold on to it, and it had quite a bit of a drop right here, but I still held on to it. So yeah, then I ended up trading SPX quite a lot this week. So I might have to bring it down to a smaller time frame because I did a lot of little dip buying and stuff like that on that. So the first one I had let's see, 4530 calls at 9:53 on the 7th, which is right here. Now make sure I get the right day. Right there, 9:53. As you can see, it had a big drop. I even noticed in the room that I said there was a head and shoulders. You get like a left shoulder here ahead and a right shoulder right there. And I probably should have grabbed puts right there, but being Monday right at open, SPY's been kind of tricky. But it did dump, and it did come down here and wick at the RC2 trend line. And I grabbed the 4530 calls at $2.30, and it bounced from 230 to 80. Now, been mostly the goal is to just take the 50 cents plus and just get in and out, especially you don't know if the market's going to be choppy or not. So I did do that. And then I ended up grabbing it again, but I grabbed the 4525 calls at 1016, which is right here. So I grabbed it right here, got this little bounce to VWAP, sold into that, and it dropped harder right there, and I ended up grabbing it 1016 right here when it started wicking up and going back towards the RCT trend line. So I did grab the 4525 calls instead of the 4530, and I got them at $2.45, and they went from 245 to 320 in that push. Now I ended up grabbing them again at 1035. Okay, this is what I ended up doing here. I'm gonna have to bring this down to a smaller time frame so you can actually see it. Make sure I get the right day. Why is this thing slow while scrolling? Is this 7th? No, right here, 7th. Okay, so I grabbed it. This is the first one, the one at 9:53. I grabbed it right here. And the second one was the 25 calls at 10:16, which was right here. So I sold in that little pop right there. Then it came back down and I grabbed it again at 10:35, which was right here. So I grabbed it here, sold into this little pop right here. Then it dropped back down and I grabbed it again. And I did get it cheaper the third time, which was the second time I grabbed 45.25. So the first time was 245, and this time right here it was 240. So as soon as it came back down to 240, I grabbed it again, and this time they went from 380. So I grabbed it again at 1107. This is going to be kind of difficult to... Okay, I see. First one was here, sold into the pop. Got it again right here, sold into this. Then it dropped back down, and I grabbed it a fourth time. So I grabbed 45.25 calls again at 1107, which is right here. Got it on the double bottom right there. And it bounced a little bit, then it finally came back up to VWAP, and then it finally ended up pushing. So those went from $2.50. Let's see, 1107 is right here. I got it at $2.50 to 45.25 calls. And they went to $5.90 if you held all the way through. Then I ended up grabbing SPX calls again at the end of the day. So I traded SPX 5 times that day. So yeah, I traded a lot this week. I must have traded it at least 15 times. But anyways, I did grab it again at 139, which is, where's 139? 139 right here. Oh yeah, I remember I grabbed it in this little dip right in here. Right here. It dipped down, then it came back up. I thought it was going to break out right here. Let me go back to the 10-minute because I don't use the 3-minute chart. I use the 10-minute. Let me get the right day here. Came back down, and it popped back up. I thought for sure it was going to break out. Oh my God, at what time again? 139, right? Here. Popped back, it popped up just a tiny bit, and I think I actually had a chance. Yeah, I actually did sell some at 260 because I had them I got the, at this point in time, this last call at 139, I had the 45.30 call, so yeah, I went from 45.30 to 45.25, 25.25, then I went to 30 again. So the last one was a 45.30 play at $2.40 right here. I did sell some at 260 a little bit, and then it just dumped, and it just ended up dumping the rest of the day. So I ended up taking a loss. But when I first dumped right here, I thought for sure it was going to come back up and break out, make a cup and handle, because you would have had a cup and you would have had a possible handle right here if it kept going, but it didn't. It got shut down right before it could end up breaking out. So yeah, that was it was Monday. Let's see, Tuesday. Let's see. yeah, Tuesday I already went over Visa. Then I ended up having all SPX again. So well, then I had a swing too, and that was Microsoft, I think. Okay, so I'll go right down the list. Then I'll go with Microsoft at the end. So at 9:40, I took the 45.30 calls at 155. No, 155. $1.55. I took it at 9:40. So right here, it dropped back down. It came back up, broke over the ORB, which is open range breakout. When it did break over this area right here, I did grab the calls, and they went from 155 to 205. I had to go outside the money a little bit because it was this was Wednesday, because Tuesday was expiration day because Monday was a holiday. So the expiration days usually move around a little bit when we have a holiday in the week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday was a expiration day. So this being Wednesday, for some reason I keep thinking that this day is Tuesday, but it's not. It's actually Wednesday. But yeah, they went from 155 to 205. I had to go outside the money at that time. Let's bring up SPX to see how far out of the money I had to go, because I think they were kind of expensive, I think, at that day, the 8th. Let's see, I had 45-30 calls. Yeah, the calls were up here, so I was outside the money a couple points, so that's why they didn't move nearly as much. If they were at the money, I think they were like $4. I didn't want to grab that at opening because I just don't want to grab too expensive at open. Open is where it's the most dangerous. So they did go for 155 to 205 on those 45-30 calls. I ended up grabbing 4,500 puts at the 1026, and I grabbed it right here. As you can see, it popped up. I rejected pre-market high, came close to the RCT trend line at 200 EMA, and it got shut down. And as soon as it came back down to the moving averages and VWAP right here, I did grab it right here. So I did grab the 4,500 puts at $2.20, and they went from 220 to 1180. So that was a 400% move right there in that massive drop. I don't remember what that drop was, what news that was. That might have been, to be honest, I don't remember. So I'm lucky if I remember yesterday, let alone that. But I don't remember. I think there was something news about that. I don't remember if it was a Fed or the bonds were taking off. I don't remember. But then I ended up taking 45-15 calls at 1043. Right here. Now, what I've been doing this week, and I've got caught in this a couple times. Make sure I get the right day, the 8th. I'm bringing it down to the smaller time frame so we can see this, because I know exactly what I did right here. I grabbed the 45-15 calls at 1043, and they were at $1.80, 1043 right here. Now, I'm looking at the 10-minute chart. You have these massive candles. I'm going to switch this over to 10-minute for a second so you can see. Right here. Now you have these massive long candles. Wait a minute, I get the, okay. You get these massive long candles right here, and anytime you have these massive long stretch candles that act like an elastic and they get pulled back up. So that's just where I ended up grabbing the 45-15 calls at right here at 1043. And they went from $1.80 to 225, and that little push right there. Then I ended up grabbing them again at 1059, which is right here. So I grabbed the calls there, sold into that push, got the to get the 50 cents out of it. Well, close, 45 cents. Then I ended up grabbing them again right here. So I got it here, sold into here, came back down. I re-grabbed them again. I got them same ones at the same price, 45-15 calls at $1.80. And they went to from $1.80 to $3 right there in that little push. Then they came back down, and I did grab it again at 1132. Let's see where 1132 is. Right in here. Oh yeah, I remember this. Okay, let me switch charts back over so I can see. I don't like using the 3-minute. I'm just doing it so you can see what I actually did. Okay, I think this is the day right here. I grabbed them at what time? 11:32 on the 8th. 11:32. Wait a minute. 10:59. 11:32. I think I got my times messed up. 11th. I'm gonna have to bring it back down to the 3-minute chart. Somehow I'm confusing myself here. Okay, I got the right day. So the first one was at 10:43, which is right here. Then that's the second one. Then I grabbed it again at 11:32, which was right here. Okay. For some reason, I did do something in the middle of the week where I ended up grabbing it right here, but I'm not going to confuse you. I'm already confused enough as it is, but I did pull back. I did grab it right here. Actually, right here, I grabbed it because it rejected VWAP or came close to it, and it came back down, retesting this area right here again. That's where I ended up grabbing it, but it did end up trying to go to the lower day and it bounced. So those 45.15 calls, I got $1.60, which were cheaper. They went to 4.20 right here. So that little push right there was a nice little 100% move on that. So now that was Wednesday. Now I had Microsoft in the middle of that. I grabbed Microsoft at let me switch back over to 10-minute. I hate using the 3-minute. What time did I grab Microsoft? 10:08. Okay. Microsoft. 10:08. Okay, 10:08. Right here? No. I grabbed it right in here, the breakthrough VWAP. Not quite sure. I know that I remember saying in the room that anytime it gets below 300, it likes to get bought up really quickly. So I did grab it in here, and then I ended up swinging it and holding it, and I had a nice pop at the end of the day on Wednesday. Then it had a nice gap up on Thursday. So I did sell on the pop on Thursday. So those Microsoft 300 calls I got at $1.30 went to $2.61, so they went to 100%. And then I ended up grabbing, let's see, Facebook calls on Thursday. The short week's throwing me off big time. Now I grabbed, let's see. Wait a minute. Oh, no. Before I grabbed Facebook, I grabbed Twitter. Okay, let's go to Twitter. I want to keep these in order so I don't confuse myself any more than what I did. Okay, I grabbed Twitter, 6250 calls at 75 cents. At 9.59, which is right here. Now, I tried to pop up, dropped back down, came back up. It looked like it was going to break out. It did finally break out a little bit. So I did end up selling them. They didn't even go up that much. It went from 75 cents to 86 cents. So it was only 11-cent push on that. So it was not, Twitter didn't move that much on that day. So I was expecting a stronger bounce than that. I mean, especially after I had this massive dump. But it did have, no, it didn't even have a bounce there on Friday. So, yeah. Facebook. Now, Facebook I took a loss on. This is my second loss of so far, isn't it? I had a loss on Monday, right? Loss was SPX calls. Yeah. That's okay. This Facebook one is my second loss so far. Let's see. I got Facebook calls at 10:46. 10:46 right here. I did grab the 382.50 calls at 68 cents right here. It broke out. Did I sell any on the breakout? Going back on the, yeah, I sold some at 78 cents. So I did get 10 cents out of it, but I kind of held it for a bigger move. And usually when Facebook has these big moves, they end up, having a strong breakout. When they break out, like right here, it had a strong breakout right here. It broke out and had strong, and it just was very weak. I was expecting like a 381, 382 RCT trendline test or something, and it just did not do it. It was very, very weak. So, which is very unlike Facebook. Then I held it, and it bounced off VWAP a little bit, then it knifed, and I just got out, and it just did it actually. Yeah, they went in the money the next day. If I held it, they went in the money the next day. But you don't know what's going to do that. I mean, yeah, that was a loss that I didn't need to take. So there was a couple this week that I took for a loss that I didn't need to. What was the other one? No, just that one, I think. Let's see, what happened? What was the losses on Friday? Yeah, see, that was the only loss that I took that actually ended up working out. It was Facebook. So yeah, that wasn't too much of a dumb mistake. You don't really know what's going to happen overnight. So I hate holding overnight because it's been pretty reckless. But then I ended up playing SPY. And this is Thursday, non-expiration day. I ended up playing SPY puts at 11:53, which should be, I should have grabbed it right there, but I didn't grab it right there. 11:53, right here. No, right here. Okay, I see what I did. You get the cup, you get a little bit of a handle, and you get the little bit, it looks like it's going to flush. These inverted cup and handles are notorious for flushing. That's why I like playing them. They did go from 83 cents to 450. The SPY 450 puts went from 83 cents to $2.60 on this little flush right here. So if you did hold it all the way through, it was another 150% move. Then I ended up grabbing SPX 4535 calls at 115, which is right in here. Now, this is where I did my little... Oh, this was a loss I should have held. Yeah. Actually, I don't think they were actually green. No, they weren't green. I remember looking the next day. They were not green. So even if I did hold this and it gapped overnight, they never turned green. But anyways, this long stretched candle, I was expecting to pull back the buyback right up here like I did earlier on SPY. I just timed it wrong. I got in here instead of down here. If I grabbed it down here, it would have been better, but I grabbed it here. I grabbed the 45.35 calls at $2.45. And it looked like it was going to recover, then just ended up bouncing around. So I ended up taking a loss on that. So that was my second loss of the day, third for the week. So that was the stretch that I was looking for, and I just timed it wrong. I got it here, and I should have got it down here. But, it's hard to time these. So that was one that I timed wrong, and I timed really wrong with Apple. But I'll get into that when I get to Apple. So then I had the last one, which was Microsoft. I had Microsoft end of day. Microsoft ended up dumping. I did grab the 297.50 calls at $1.11 at 341, which is right here. Now, I grabbed it down here, then it popped right in here, and I ended up selling right in there. And at that point in time, I even said in the room I was going to hold it overnight. I should have held it overnight because they went really into the money the next day. So if you sold it at open, and I saw it down here coming through, and I should have grabbed it there because I was really looking at 300 calls right there. Not 300 calls, at 297.50. I think they were close to like 60 cents or something. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. I should have grabbed it right there, but I didn't. But whatever. But yeah, I sold it into that little pop right there, that little wick that got shut down. But when I sent the alert, I said I was going to hold it overnight, and I decided not to. And yeah, I should have on that one. So that would have paid off pretty well because I had 297.50 calls, and they were already in the money at the time. They really had a nice gap up. So I should have held that, but it is what it is. It was still a win, small little win, so I'm not going to complain about that. Then we had Friday, where I traded like eight times. Just traded a lot. So I will start with, let's see, first one was Twitter. Hit open. Cannot type straight. There we go. Now I was looking at Twitter as soon as I got over pre-market highs right here. I was watching it, even over Friday's highs. I'm 63. I think he even said in the Trade Ideas room that every morning I put out 2 or 3 ideas before the open to see so members have something to watch, and if it breaks the levels, that's what I'm taking. And I did put Friday, yesterday, a pre-market at 9:18 in the morning. I said Twitter calls over 63, and Roku calls over 345. Roku didn't hit, but Twitter hit. So as soon as it hit 63, I grabbed it. So I grabbed the 62.50 calls that were in the money at 75 cents, and they went from 75 to $1 in that little push. So then it just ended up collapsing. So then I ended up taking, let's see, Twitter. Then I took SPX puts. I took them at the 44.70 puts at 10:30, which is rate 10:30. Why did I take them at 10:30? Did I get the right day here? Right here. I took them way down here. I don't know why I didn't take it up here. I took it down here. Well, I know why I took it here, but I should have grabbed it up here too. But I was in Twitter. But I mean, you just don't know how far, what kind of a range SPY is going to give you. It gave you a $6 range this day. But one of the things I was looking at the hourly, that if it broke this $48 range, this $49 range right here, 49, if it broke that, because you had it test here, it bounced, and this is number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That the more times it tries to, the more times it touches, the higher risk, the higher probability is it's gonna break. And I grabbed it, and the 44.70 puts went from $2.40 to $6.40. So that was a $4 move right there, 100% move on that. Then I ended up grabbing Apple calls. Oh yeah, this is the one. Apple had the news with the court decision on Epic Games. I had, what time did I grab it? 11:24. I grabbed it in this candle. Let's break it. Let's go down to the smaller candle. Okay, I get the smaller candles. Time to grab it again. Let's see, 11:24. Right here. It dropped quite a bit, came back up. I had a chance to sell, but I didn't. I wasn't fast enough, and the spreads were just ridiculous. And so I was looking for the stretched move, come back up. Lost its, had its court decision with Epic Games and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, it's just going to be an overreaction. They make way too much money. It's going to bounce back up. I've seen so many times where Apple has bad news, gets an overreaction, then it fully recovers, or recovers quite a bit, and this time it actually didn't. So I did grab it here, and it just ended up being a loss. So I did have a chance to sell, and I think some people in the room did. The spreads were just so nasty, and just I don't know. I didn't want to chase it. I just felt like that it was going to bounce back and recover, and it didn't. So yeah, that was one stupid knife, or actually that's my second one that I unnecessary loss that I didn't have to really take. But then I ended up taking the rest was nothing but SPY, and I'm probably gonna have to go down to a smaller time frame, because I did a lot of crazy things. So I ended up grabbing 4,500 calls at 12:21, which is make sure I get the right day, 12:21. right here. Why did I grab it right here? Do I have the right 1221? Okay, let me bring it back up to 10 minutes. I don't know why I kind of grabbed it there. We have to look again. 1221. Oh, okay. I understand why I grabbed it here. Came back up to the 20 EMA. Then it kind of dropped and it came back up instead of pop up. And usually, you know, they reject 20 EMA the first time, and it kind of did a tiny bit, but I like to see it like really pull back. But SPY is one of these things where it likes to lure in these shorts and make it look weak, like it's gonna pull back, then just blast through. And I had a feeling, you know, I had everything working against the 20 EMA, the VWAP, the previous day's close, and I felt like yeah, it's gonna push through it. It did. So they went from 215 to 380 in that little push right there. Then I ended up grabbing again at 134, which is right here. No, I grabbed it at 110. Okay, we gotta bring it down to a smaller time frame. This is why you need to go to Twitter and follow the alerts. So okay, the second one, let's see, 250 went to 215 to 380. Okay, that was right here. Then it came back down. I grabbed him again at $2.20 at 110, which is right here. Started chop, came back down, tested VWAP, grabbed it again, it popped, and I sold into that little pop. They went from 280 to 350, so got my 50 cents right there. It came back down. I grabbed it again at 134, which is right here. So I grabbed it. I grabbed the push through VWAP, sold into that, came back down, tested it right there, grabbed it from the push through, and it came back down, pushed through again. I grabbed that little one, and that time they went from $1.85 to $2.30. Now the loss I took on the calls was right here at 130, not 134, 201 right here. Now, not quite sure why I grabbed it there. Might have been because it came down here. I don't know. I grabbed it here anyways. It started to pop. I know I had a chance to sell. I had a chance to sell it at $2.95, $3. I missed it. And plus I was holding for like another test, retest of higher day. Not higher day, but this area right here, 449 plus. And it didn't. It just rejected the moving averages right here. I mean, this is just 3 minutes, so it didn't really reject the moving averages because they weren't there, were they? No. Well, the 20 was, I guess, a little bit, but this is right here where I end up screwing up, and that's it. I did have a chance to sell, and I didn't, so I was waiting for a bigger move to come back up here, but then I ended up switching over to calls at down here. So yeah, that was my loss for the week, my last loss for the week, my fifth loss right there. I had a chance to sell, but I had to been fast, and I just wasn't fast enough, and plus I was kind of looking for more, but it is what it is. So those were a loss. Those were the 495 calls right here, because mostly I've been playing 450 calls up until here. So then at the end of the day, I grabbed the 44.75 puts at 308, which is right here. Now, going into the power hour on Friday, Microsoft SPY was weak all day. It bounced, rejected the 37 EMA, which is the white line that came underneath the 20 EMA and previous day's close in VWAP, and it never really recovered. It came down a lower day, and that's when I ended up grabbing it, just thinking we were going to have an end of the day flush. But there was also high risk that we could have a double bottom and just bounce from there, because SPY usually is notorious for doing that, where it will start to look weak, then it will just rage on you. And I got caught in many of those in the past, and so I just took a chance and grabbed it, thinking we were going to have an end of the day flush right here. So the 44.75 puts I got at $1.70, went from $1.70 to $21.20, so 1,000% move right there if he held all the way through. I know a couple people in the room had really large gains from that move right there. So congrats to them. So yeah, this week was far from perfect, but trading is what it is. Traps happen, fakeouts happen. You just gotta try to be patient and minimize as much risk as possible, and try to pick the right setups and the things that likely have less traps and stuff like that. But just there was something just telling me that just to grab the puts here wasn't going to bounce, and it had a nice little flush. So I was very happy about that. So that's going to do it for the recap. So hope this helps you understand what I did and why I did it and why I took the plays I took. And this is why you need to watch these videos, because this is how you learn the mindset and the process behind the trading. And so yeah, that's gonna do it, and hope to see you in your room, and thanks for watching.